Here we will see a film recording from Bomsarvet in Gustafs parish, Sweden, December 18, 1926. We will visit the Göranssons foundry, where they will be making brass horse bells and chimes. The master walks with his assistants to the workshop. The space inside is dominated by a large sandbox where molds for casting are currently being prepared. Here, the casting models are being packed, models that, aside from a few details, are virtually identical to a regular bell and made of the same material. The casting sand is carefully sifted, moistened with syrup, brine, or beer, and sometimes mixed with clay or rye flour to improve cohesion. The packing is done very thoroughly using various tools made of wood and iron, tampers or iron rods. Once this part of the mold is filled, it is leveled with an iron bar and the lid is tested. A few more grains of sand may be needed for a perfect fit. The mold flask is turned, revealing the bell models from below. The surface is smoothed, and any grains of sand that may have fallen into the model are blown away. Inside the models, a small metal loop is placed, which will be cast into the bells to serve as the attachment point for the clapper. A wooden frame is added to reinforce the mold, and a type of seed flour known as nicked powder, enclosed in a cloth bag, is sprinkled on to prevent the next layer of sand from sticking to the first. A wooden pin is inserted into the model to support the sand cores. The lid is put back on and the mold is turned once again. Then comes a moment that demands great skill, strength, and precision. The upper half of the mold flask must be quickly lifted so that the models and packed cores remain standing in the sand of the lower half. A hole is carefully drilled using a pipe through which the molten metal will later be poured. Now the models must be removed from the cores. The foundry man gently taps the models, judging by the sound whether the sand core has detached. They are quickly lifted, leaving the cores in place with protruding pins, the embedded loops for attaching the clappers. The cores are then cleaned using trowels and brushes, and any remaining sand is blown away. After this, the cores in one half are oven dried, while the other half contains the imprints of the models. The lid is put back on and checked. The channel through which the metal flows into the core is smoothed out. Into these holes, the arms of a large metal loop, which will become the eyelet of the horse chime, are very carefully placed so that they will be cast into the bell. Once dried, the two halves of the mold flask are reassembled. The cores are smaller than the outer shape of the models, creating a hollow space between the core and the surrounding sand. This is the actual casting mold. The crucible with molten metal is brought from the furnace and the casting begins. The metal solidifies within a few minutes. The mold flasks are opened and the sand is removed from the cast bells. The so-called sprue, the metal stems connecting the bell to the pouring channels, is removed by grinding it against a disc made of carborundum, emery, or similar material. The bell is mounted on a wooden chuck and turned using different tools to finish it. The bells are lubricated with stearin oil, applied with a cloth and stick, and polished with rags. Clappers with attached thick metal wires are cast separately, and then fastened inside the horse bells. The finished bells were sold not only locally, but throughout Sweden, and even exported abroad. This provided both the craftsmen and the local community with a much-needed source of income in hard cash.